But health insurance in this country is framed so, the way it's framed is, it's something that you have to use for everything. And insurance is not built for that.
Finally finding me. Third eye opening up so I can see. Finally I can breathe.
I'll talk about later on. My connection to Houston, I moved to Houston and I came to US in '98. So I spent more time in US than my home country, which is India. So I spent more time here. I came here to do my grad school. So I have a master's in electrical engineering, and very different from what I'm doing today. And then in 2000, when I graduated, my first job was at Compaq Computers. If you remember Compaq in those days. So that was 240. It's in Spring, 249 and Luata. That's where the old Compaq.
Yeah, we talked about that because my stepdad had worked there, I think probably around the same time. And I was really lucky because I was, he brought home one of the first Compaq computers, and we got access to internet like really early on. You think I'd be a little bit more tech savvy than I am now.
Yeah. So that was my first job, and of course, I was on the technical side for about 10 years. And then I have designed servers and all of that. Then I changed over to management side, managing teams and managing projects and all of that. And then at some point in 2015, I thought to kind of accelerate my career in the management side, I need to go get my MBA. So I went to Texas A&M, joined the MBA program with Mace Business School. And in the second year, you're supposed to do a capstone project, which is like a 1-year project. Mm-hmm. And for that, I was very clear about one thing. I did not want to do something from my work. I wanted to do something different, something outside, something I can in the future, go ahead and do those things. So at that time, my wife, she's a physician, family physician. So she was hearing about a membership model in primary care that was kind of like in infancy. It's still in infancy, but in thousands now. But at that time, it was in a couple of hundred, practices across the country that were doing something like that. So she asked me if I can take those things, that model, the feasibility of that model on as a project. That way, I can kind of look at how the business side of it works, have those things ready for her at some time in the future. At that time was what she thought in the 5-10 years, or maybe 5 years in the future, that she would probably think of a solo practice and do like an office like that. It looked very interesting, very novel, something new, and something there was a lot of scope of work was there for like a year worth of work. But healthcare, I'd never cared about healthcare before, health insurance. And but that was the first time I opened my eyes when I was looking at the numbers that go into healthcare. And we are talking about 6 years ago. And so if you look at it today, it's like way more than that.
This is and just to recap, what you did during your MBA, your MBA process is you went through and put together a business plan for a membership style healthcare clinic.
Yes.
And so this is in comparison to, say, even before the Affordable Care Act. A majority of people got their health insurance through, they still do, but the majority of people got their insurance through their business plan, where they work. And so untethered, you have your work plans, you have your affordable healthcare plans, you have a combination of those, and then now what you and your wife have done is you put together a membership option for primary care, and then you also pair that with other supplemental products. And what you've done is you've been able to take away something similar to what Netflix has done. You can pick and choose which shows that you watch versus buying into this, large corporation of large TV contract that has a bunch of stuff that you never watch, and that helps drive down the cost. And that's what was kind of a big eye opener for me. And that's what you mean by the Netflix of healthcare. You get to pick and choose versus having huge contracts with stuff that you'll never even want. Now, you as a professional in the health insurance world, you'll go through that with the individual, with the family, or with the business owner to make sure that those options are customized. But getting back to where you're at, you saw this very early on. You said this was pre 2012 when you started.
No, this was 2016.
2016 when you started putting this together. Yeah. So you saw an avenue in the market that was coming, and you and your wife put together this. So you put the business plan together and carried it out, because your wife is the main doctor in the clinic there at Meridian Springs, correct?
In this location, correct? Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So before we get into the nitty gritty of the health insurance side, I'm actually curious about the operations. If you can, I think you were leading there, but tell me the story of how you and your wife paired together to put this offering out. What it's like working together, as business owners. I'm really curious about the personal side of that. So if you can continue, I think you were leading there, but feel free.
Yeah. So let me take it from the project completion. Once I looked into the numbers, it made a lot of sense, and it makes sense to have a kind of a Netflix kind of a flat fee plan for primary care, because primary care actually can fix almost 85% of health issues. So if you look at all health issues that anybody gets, almost 85% of that is primary care. Mm-hmm. Most people don't know that. So primary care, can fix those issues, in an outpatient setting in the primary care office. And so I remember the first chapter when I looked at this was look at the other insurance, like the one that you do, like how is an auto insurance? How is homeowners insurance? Like how is any other insurance? It's always insurance it's not a payment mechanism, even though it pays, but insurance is a protection mechanism. So you're hedging against, huge losses. Primary care is not a huge loss, but primary care is something, people don't know, because a lot of, when you are using an insurance, you don't know how much you pay, how many, how much things cost. Mm-hmm. But primary care is the least expensive part of the healthcare system, and that's 85% of healthcare. So now, when you bundle everything, the most inexpensive and expensive, everything together, and then you're paying huge premiums on that, it's basically a big waste. So what we have done and what this model does is you can remove this primary care part from your insurance plan, and you can have that as a flat fee. That way, there is big, access to the health, the primary care, the quality of care. All of those things are already there without having to go through a middleman, which is insurance that sits between, the provider and the patient. And then using insurance, we never say insurance is not needed. And if somebody says that, that's completely wrong, and I think even illegal. Insurance is needed, but in its place. Insurance is needed as a protection mechanism when there's a huge loss. Yeah, if you have a cancer, you need to be insured for that cancer, or some kind of a surgery, then you need insurance. So when things are in their place, when insurance covers the 15% and the 85% is primary care, there's a huge reduction in what you pay into the healthcare system. and then a huge increase in the value that you receive because the quality goes up big time.
Mhm.
And that's the kind of a sweetness that we bring in with this model. And that was my first chapter was to look at how other insurance works and how health insurance works and how, if health insurance is made to kind of structured it like how other insurance works, how good it's going to be. Right? And that's how we started. And then at the end of early 2017 is when I was supposed to do my report. And that's when I told my wife, it's something we can do it now if you want. We don't have to wait 5 years. And then I graduated May of 2017, and we started this location May 1st, 2017. And so, kind of like, any business there's a business part, and there's the medical part, right? So there's the what you call the technician part. So it was a good thing where I'm not concerned about healthcare because I know nothing, but and then I can provide the business side of it. So it works very well because we keep our domains separate. We don't mix it.
Gotcha.
But we get to spend time, which is actually a good thing. And we have lunch Fridays, not this today, but usually Fridays we go have lunch together, which we have never done for many years because we used to work in different locations. So all of those things. So when you look at work-life balance, this is the best that I've had.